Hi, Internet. How are you? Welcome to another Facebook Live. I'm so excited about our guests today, Rob Benedict and Richard Speight, formerly of Supernatural, but now you'll know them as the Kings of Con. Guys, thanks so much for joining us.
That's a presentation. I like that.
Did you like that?
It was great.
Yeah. We could take you on the road.
I feel better about this whole thing.
Yeah.
I will be your hype woman.
I want her to be our hype
like
woman.
By the way, we are live, so if you guys have any questions, comments, put them below. Don't forget to like ET on Facebook and follow, and I'll get them here on my phone and read them to them. Guys,
Yeah.
thanks so much for being here.
Thanks
I'm
for
very
having
excited.
us.
Two of
Thanks for
my
having us.
favorite people to talk to.
Thank you.
Let's start off by talking about Kings of Con and what the show is for people watching who may not know.
Babo?
Richard? Kings of Con is a show that Richard and I created, sort of inspired by our behind-the-scenes, the behind-the-scenes world at fan conventions, which we have been very familiar with over the last 7 or 8 years, because Supernatural has a lot of fan conventions. We now do about 20 of them a year.
Right.
And so we've assembled a good, a couple baskets worth of good stories from around the globe.
Robbie and I ended up sort of taking the stage together in a lot of these cons. You know, we started out separately, but then eventually, over time, I became the host, Robbie became the co-host, Robbie has a band, they're on stage. It's kind of like our traveling Kimmel act. And in so doing, we kind of ended up not only making each other laugh on stage, but off stage, weird things would happen, and Robbie started keeping a text list of bizarro
funny
or
little
goofy
things.
things that usually we would do by accident and make asses of ourselves, or our friends would do, and we decided after a while, this is not just a great text chain, this is a show.
This is a diary.
This is a diary show.
This is a desperate cry for help. Or a show.
It's therapy. Is what it is. And so, you know, we created this show. It's, you know, it's a comedy, and it's and really it's for everybody. It's not just for people who know the Supernatural world. It really is. It's a show about these two quirky friends,
Right.
and the setting happens to be behind the scenes at fan conventions.
Yeah, but we talk about that a lot because people say, well, it's a show about
Genre.
conventions. You got to
Yeah.
know about conventions. I'm like, man, you don't have to live in New York to like Seinfeld. You don't have to make a television show to like 30 Rock. It's that's our wallpaper, but it's a character-driven comedy like anything else, and it's a comedy for comedy lovers, not for convention goers. Convention goers might get a little extra sauce because they know the world,
Right.
But it's built to make you laugh regardless of your background.
And your names are Rob Bennett and Richard Speight in the show. Sounds a little familiar.
Yeah.
And we went out on a limb with that.
we did that because Robbie and I are crusty and old and can't remember fake names. So we were afraid we'd blow text by going, "Who are you? What do you play?" We sort of followed the Seinfeld or Larry David or Louis C.K. model because
Right.
so much of what we had come up with was heightened reality, if you will. I mean, it's all this is fiction, and Robbie and I wrote it like you would a normal comedy. But we had developed a comedic rapport on stage, characters, if you will, that we utilize as our back and forth as part of the convention world, and we took that off the stage and put it on the page. And since it was Rob and Rich on the stage, it made sense to just stay in that design.
Plus, I think when you're writing it, nothing's better than reality, right? And this isn't a reality show, but like you said, in the same way that Louis C.K. does it, you're inspired by your real life events, and then you take it and you kind of make it into this sort of fictional, funny tale. And there's something about almost challenging yourself as you're writing for Rob to almost tell it like it is up to a certain point, and then you branch into the unknown, right?
Besides, if you got pissed off at me and had to yell, "Carl!" that's not nearly as fun as you going,
Exactly.
"Rich!"
Yeah.
That's what you do all the time.
Yeah, and you're kind of like representing yourselves in a way. Yeah. What is something from the show that is pulled straight out of reality?
Oh, several things. Well, the classic, the New Jersey story.
The classic is, in episode 3 of our show, is an episode where I dial his room number, room 911, which was down the hall from me in 923, and I accidentally called 911 because I didn't press like 7 to get out of the hotel or whatever. So the cops came to his room because of the 911 call, and that actually happened. We were in New Jersey, and the cops. But we were in New Jersey about 20 minutes, and already the cops were in our room.
And so that's an example of something that happened to us. We also, are happy to steal from things that happen to other people, our friends.
Of course.
Because in episode 4, Kendall Grady.
Yeah.
Kendall Grady is sort of loosely based on our buddy Tim Amundsen, who's on the show Supernatural. We were all having dinner with Tim Amundsen in Vegas, and they were serving au gratin potatoes, and Tim went to town on these au gratin potatoes and was literally gorging himself to the point where like everybody else is like, I guess none of us are having au gratin potatoes. And the next day, we started calling him, because his name's Tim Amundsen, we were calling him Tim O'Groton. And that bit irked him to no end. By the way, right now, if you were to see this, he's like, I had 2 helpings. but he bogarted the potatoes. He knows damn well he did. And so we took even
He would
just something
snap
small.
an ascot if he watches this right now.
And he was wearing an ascot at the time. So he was just a little thing like that can germinate into a funny scene or a funny character, which we utilized for that episode.
Right. Well, this show is not just for the convention goer, like you said, but if people have not, like, for the press and for the actors and for the talent there, I don't know if people know conventions are really crazy.
They are.
They're very crazy because you work all day and then you play all night because there's all these parties and events that you need to go to, and it's like
which is still sort of work.
Which is still you're working and you're mingling, and then
that's what you tell your spouse.
Exactly.
Honey,
I'm working.
I was working until 3:30.
Why were you up till 3? I was working. Who goes harder at the convention, and who is the first one to say, let's go to bed?
Who goes harder?
Yeah.
Boom. Who's the first one to pull the ripcord? Boom.
I would argue, but that is true.
That's true, yeah. The thing is...
Although back in the day, it used to be, when Rich was young and Sprite, because we've been doing this for about 40 years.
Hair, yeah.
Rich used to be the one that would knock on the door like, 1 more beer. And I was like, no, Rich, I'm out.
But that's before the band was there. Once your band showed up, and you had your alter ego, the musician guy, then it was just all, SD and rock and roll for this cat. It's like all crazy. It's all the stuff you read about. I mean, I stand there in awe, and I'm like, don't throw a black light on the band room, and I back out slowly because it's a hootenanny.
I do like I like it with the party. I like it when it goes on.
I'm sure you've had some rough panels then.
Back in the day when we were amateurs, when we say we party, like we just we stay up. Certainly there's alcohol and whatnot, but like it's nothing that crazy.
Well, when you get to a certain age, like 2 beers and you're like done the next day. You're like, ouch, what happened here?
We're not like Led Zeppelin.
No, the thing about it is, and I think we wish we were Led Zeppelin, but what we would do, and this is the truth, we would land in a city, Robbie and I, and usually Matt Cohen if he was coming in, Chris Schmelke, who's the photographer for all the creation events, we'd all hook up and start pinging each other about where the nearest Golden Tee is.
So you could go to a bar that has the video game
find
Golden
the
Tee.
video game golf, drink beer and play video golf. So if you consider that off the chain, then I guess we're legends. Yeah. But we're kind of like old married guys, even back when we started this thing. Yeah. So for us, it was more about boys' weekend, hanging out and having a few pints and talking smack.
But I do remember some of my early ones. Like we have one in Rome. My first year in Rome, I drank too much, and the next morning was like bright and early, signing autographs and like.
I remember we had to inflate Sebastian Roche to do his panels in Rome. We all got overserved in Rome. But in fairness,
it's Rome.
You're in Rome.
I mean, it's Rome.
When in Rome. That's literally a phrase.
Exactly.
When in Rome, drink your face off. In case you didn't know how the phrase finishes.
Vomit on your autograph.
We do have a bunch of fan questions pouring in. We have a bunch of fan questions pouring in. Brianna wants to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how similar are you guys to your characters? P.S. I love you guys.
Aw,
P.S. We love you.
How similar are we? I mean, it's funny.
50%, man? I mean, I like...
maybe 50%. I mean, it's funny. Like Rich said, on stage, we kind of started to develop these characters. We developed these characters, so we kind of play these caricatures of ourselves. However, if you said which one is the more neurotic one, definitely me. Which one is the more the sort of leader who takes the reins and says, this is what we're going to do, and that's more him. And so we've definitely added on to those character qualities.
Yeah, that's true. But I think there's a lot of the sort of almost big brother, little brother, for lack of a better description, dynamic that Rob and I have on stage that doesn't exist off stage. That is very much, we're partners in the process. We're admirers of each other's work and have known about each other for years and years and years. So in a way, we're like 2 different comedic voices and writers who sort of came together and said, hey, our stuff works really well together. Let's be pragmatic and create a vehicle that tells the stories we want to tell.
Right.
And then on stage, it's back to, come on, Robbie.
Like,
Rich. I mean, so we kind of, we fan the flames of that on the page and on the stage, but in reality, that's not really how we interact.
But you're total BFFs, right?
Oh, totes.
Totes.
Totes my goats.
Josephine wants to know, does Rob ever sleep with all the projects he's doing?
Does he? Yeah.
I'm dating. By the way, I'm dating. I wouldn't say we're sleeping together.
I was going to say, are all the projects we're doing, is that code? Are the kids gone? Robbie has a Netflix and chills with all the projects he's doing. In fact, I remember the last project you were doing. Damn.
Hey, listen,
dude,
I don't sleep with
that
all of them.
project.
No, I don't sleep a lot. You know, by the end of last year, I see pictures of myself, and I was so fried out. It was a busy year, but you know what? I love it. I mean, you know, doing what we do, it's great to be busy, and it's so I love it. I'm not complaining.
My grandmom always told me you can sleep when you're dead.
Exactly.
Grandma! Kayla wants to know, what is your funniest behind-the-scenes story?
Of actually making the show? I'll tell you, one of my favorite things making the show was when we were doing episode 4, and Rob had the scene with Kent O'Grady in the bedroom, that whole thing with Josh Myers, the actor who played Kent O'Grady. I was literally in the other room blowing takes because I would laugh so freaking hard at their interactions. If you go back and watch that episode, the whole exchange with Rob and Josh at the end is one take. Rob, you know, he puts his hand up on the wall, and that's it. We never cut again, and it's just them going bing, 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 bing. And it's a miracle it's usable footage, because I was really, I was laughing so hard that then the crew started just looking at me with concern because I was coming a part of the scenes. That was one of my favorite.
The same thing happened to me when I was watching you and Cutlets, and your scene with Michael Cutlets.
Oh, yes.
Really hilarious, and I'm going, ah! I'm like looking at the monitor, and you hear me like, ah! I remember in the editing room, you're like, what was that? I was like, oh, that was me honking at the.
I mean, we had a lot of fun things back, you know, off screen. We would go to the Arena, which is the bar in the hotel, and we'd have honestly a business powwow at the end of every shooting day with Mark Evans, our DP, and Tina Dinsmore, our producer, and we sort of talk about the work for the next day. And what we've had to do that with open mic comedy night going on behind us.
Yeah, so it was this working club that, you know, we
was our set.
We shot everything in this one hotel. We shot everything. We turned rooms into non-hotel rooms in that hotel, and there was a bar scene that was done in this bar, but it's really a bar. So here we are at the bar, like trying to going over shot lists, and someone is in the background, you know, singing some Journey song.
It's like, we don't have the rights to that.
I'm sure they're not thrilled with the fact that we weren't paying attention.
Exactly.
So maybe we'll put the camera here.
Yeah.
Brian wants to know if you guys have any pre-con rituals.
Well, certainly one traditional one was always finding golden tea in the city we're in. We usually get together, everyone who's in town, on Thursday night. That's really our one free night.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. I thank you, Brian, for bringing this up. I think we need to resurrect the golden tea thing, because we kind of gave that up as cons got busier and we ended up traveling more. To be honest, we kind of took the opportunity to catch some Z's or whatever, have a meal, then rest up. But the golden tea.
You can sleep when you're dead.
Yeah.
Go find golden tea.
Her grandmother's right.
Yeah.
You need to sack up.
Listen to Ann. Listen to Grandma Man.
What's the other thing? What do you call it after the Saturday night show thing?
Snap. But Snap, I gotta give Buckmaster credit for that, because Brianna came up with the name Snap.
Brianna Buckmaster is an actress on Supernatural.
She came up with the idea of Saturday night after party. Saturday night after party. She hosts it in her room, and
it goes all night.
And by the way, it's mandatory attendance.
Yeah.
It's more like a work camp.
Yeah, she's really mad if you don't come.
Yeah.
We have a Saturday night concert with my band, and afterwards there's this after party. So
Snap.
Yeah. Your band is very good.
Loud and Swain
yeah,
is
when
the
I
name
came
of
to
the ensemble.
the live show, I was like, yes,
awesome.
Love it.
Thank you.
Crystal wants to know if you can make the episodes longer. Love the show.
Oh, we'd love to make the episodes longer. You know, the shows are the length they are because that's the distribution format we have. That's what we were, you know, really fortunate to be able to hook up with Comic-Con HQ. And
it's actually hard to keep them keep the scripts at like 15 pages. We wanted to keep going.
Yeah, so we trust me, we had plenty of jokes to write and stories to tell. We had to accommodate the way that the network is run. But
you know, should the show have a season 2, I think the plan is to make them 22 minutes, like a normal sitcom length.
You know what I can see is that my tube socks.
Oh wait, I'm getting to that because there is lots of love for your socks.
And but they are Obey. They're not totally
lots
bad
of
socks.
Obey
comments.
the sock.
They are not a sponsor now.
Obey the sock.
That's
Obey
hilarious.
the sock.
You're getting comments about the sock.
Well, I just noticed that I'm looking over here. I'm like, I look like a gym coach who just quickly threw on trousers to come do this interview.
And that's not totally
wrong.
Untrue.
Yeah, I am. I have a lot of children.
Lucy wants to know if you have a favorite con of all the cons. You must have one.
Rome.
But I'll tell you another second place, Vancouver, because Vancouver we get to see the crew of Supernatural, and we've become great friends with all those fabulous men and women over the years. And so to go to Vancouver, which is A, an amazing city, and B, to be able to reconnect with the people who have been doing this at a high level for 12, coming on 13 years now.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We usually try to have a dinner with the guys and the gals, and
that's
it's
where they
great.
shoot the
Say,
show.
hey, get on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Not afraid to tap our resources up there at all.
Absolutely. Jen says, I love you guys and King of Con so much, so and I hope to see you guys on Supernatural again soon. Juliana says, nice socks, Rich. Priscilla says, y'all so cute, I'm dead.
Don't die. That seems harsh.
You can sleep when you're dead.
You can
Oh,
sleep.
no, that's not.
That doesn't make
This is the biggest takeaway. Ashley wants to know, not me, Ashley, a different Ashley.
No, what do you want to know?
What do you want to know?
I want to pick your brain.
Who is your dream guest on the show?
You.
Oh.
Ah, yes,
Dream
would
guest?
love to, accept.
Yeah, done. Dream guest that we had this year.
In the that you would like to have, yeah.
Gosh, there's so many. We Robbie and I have, we're blessed to have a lot of really talented friends who have been gracious enough to lend their skills to the show. I mean, there's not one I would single out because we have too many that we would love to have on. I mean, we were so stoked to have everybody who we already had, and I mean, going forward, it'd be exciting to have.
Yeah, I mean, certainly there's moving forward, there are people we can pull from that we haven't pulled from yet that we're kind of excited about the idea. I'll go ahead and say it. I know Peter Dinklage. Him and I work together. If the schedule works out, I would flip out to have him on the show. Damian Lewis is a friend of his. We would love to have him on the show. I mean, anyone who wants to come.
Name more of your friends.
Yeah, that's it.
So I got to sweep that up, Robbie.
Ooh. No, but we'll stop at nothing.
Let's stop at nothing.
Des wants you guys to have a musical episode next season.
I like it.
Wow.
I like that.
She's laid down the law.
What do you think? All right.
There we go.
Done.
There are lots of asks if you guys can spill anything about potential returns to Supernatural.
Did you say lots of ass?
Asks.
Because I heard lots of ass.
No.
Well, that's not what I heard.
This is
but
G-rated Facebook Live.
yeah.
Is it though?
Yes, it is.
'Cause that's
We're
not what I
midday
heard.
and we're not.
Are we though? Not in Australia. Okay, so what was the
A
question?
lot of asks, a lot of questions.
Well, we don't know. I mean, honestly, Robbie and I.
We're the last ones to know.
If we had shot an episode of Supernatural that we were both in, or one of us was in, we wouldn't tell you because that'd be a spoiler. So if we said no, maybe we're lying. If we say yes, maybe we're trying to deflect the truth, which is really a no. So we really can't say, but if we did say, we might be saying something other than the truth just to keep from saying the actual fact. So the actual answer is...
Yeah. Well said.
Thank you.
Well, one thing I do love when I came to watch your guys after show is that you guys always take time to appreciate the fans and appreciate the amount of artwork that they do for you guys.
Yeah.
Does it ever stop blowing you away?
No.
No.
We have the greatest fans that I've ever experienced. I mean, this show is a phenomenon. I mean, it just got picked up for its 13th season.
Oh my gosh.
And it gets picked up because we live in a day and age where via social media the fans speak out and the networks are listening. And the audience is very creative, so talented, and we're always blown away with what they do, what they come up with.
And this point of fact, Robbie and I wouldn't be on this couch without the fans. I mean,
Right.
They're the ones who supported us through the convention circuit. They're the one that keeps the convention circuit up and running and alive and fun. Mm-hmm. And then they're the ones who supported our idea to make this show when we first went to crowdfunding a couple years ago. And they're the ones watching it now. So we're only having this conversation because we have the best fans in the business. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, but it's just their artistic talent that you saw. Like it's
Oh,
pretty crazy.
amazing.
Robbie and I have no business being in.
Yeah, I don't draw. That's an area I do not excel in, and so I'm always blown away by that kind of thing.
My favorite is when they'll do drawings of Rob and Rich, and they'll look exactly like us, only with a little sweetening, like what they really wish we looked like, and what we really look like. They're like, you know what? I'm not going to do the crow's feet. Exactly. Like, I'll just shade in the gray.
I'll pencil out the gray.
I love it when they're so talented. They're so great.
They really are. Well, you guys are under the same Comic-Con HQ umbrella as Mr. Mark Hamill and Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk. Do you guys exist in the same universe as Con Man? Like, could there be Kings of Con Man episode?
I mean, look, it'd be fun.
Same cinematic
it'd
universe?
certainly be fun to think about. I mean, I think, I definitely could see a world where they maybe guest star on ours, like playing their actual selves, because on their show they really don't play themselves. But in essence, the two shows are very different. I think I think that they exist in very different worlds, even though they're both sort of about conventions. And that's why it's so great both shows are on this network.
Right.
It makes sense. We're both on Comic-Con HQ, but we're very different shows. I think we have different sensibilities.
Yeah, they bring different tones and different perspectives to that world, and their own. You know, Alan and Nathan have their own sort of comedic voice, and we have ours, and they are not competing voices, but they are definitely different sides of the same. Yeah. You know, same instrument. So it's fun to have both accessible.
Yes, they are different. They are different for sure. Yeah. Well, we got to wrap it up, guys. But let's say somebody has never seen the show and they want to watch it. Where can they find it? Because
Richard,
Babo, you go to www.comic-conhq.com. That's www.comic-conhq.com. Bobby, you can just download the app on the Apple iTunes or Apple TV.
Sure.
Or the Roku.
On your phone,
or
on
the
Amazon.
Amazon.
Roku, on the Apple TV.
Yeah.
On Amazon, you can watch it. And, and you know, every Tuesday, finishing next Tuesday, we do a live show, after show called Kings of Conversation.
Right.
And that's you can watch for free on the Comic-Con YouTube page. Comic-Con HQ YouTube page.
But go to the site, download the app, watch the shows. Everything that has been launched so far in our season is up there for viewing. So go consume and get ready for the season finale next week.
And look, it's $5 a month, but you get all this content, which is great. You get the Alan show, and you get a Mark Hamill show, and then you get all the Comic-Con panels from throughout the years, and amazing movies. They just released Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie. A lot of great genre movies. So check it out.
Best $5 you've ever spent.
Next week we have our big finale episode. It's going to be very exciting.
Big finale. Anything you can tease about the episode?
It's big, and it's the finale.
Oh.
There are lots of special guests.
Yes.
If you're a Supernatural fan, it's definitely not a show you want to miss.
Yes. The lead actors from Supernatural.
We'll say nothing else.
Nothing else.
Other than...
Jensen, Jared, Misha. I'm not going to say
But other
anything.
than that, we're not going to say anything else. We're not going to walk you to the answer.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you for being here.
So awesome. Thank you.
Because this would have been weird if that was an empty chair.
Yeah.
We sat here the whole time with
Well, you know, you guys do your own live show. You could wing it, you know.
It's a great place. I love what you've done
You
with
like
the
it?
place.
You like my home?
I love
Thank you.
it.
Yeah, drink your coffee.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like ET's Facebook page, hit follow for more interviews and awesome recaps like this. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
I lost my voice.
Thank
at the
you,
end there.
everybody.